Okay, so to make your reindeer, you're going to need a body part. I just chose a log from a net of logs that I had from the supermarket, left over from last winter. I've chosen one with a flat side because I want to be able to put seeds and nuts and things on for the birds. But you know, you go with whatever you want, round or flat, whichever works best for you. Also, the size of your body will kind of determine how big your reindeer is going to be. Mine is about, stands 18 inches, nearly 2 foot tall when it's all assembled. So I've got quite a sturdy log there. The next thing you're going to need is a head for your reindeer. And again, I've just chosen a little log that I found in the garden. Try and make your head part in proportion to the body part of your reindeer. So once you've got the head and the body part of your reindeer, you're going to need a neck to join the two together. I've just chosen a little bit of wood off a branch that was at the bottom end of the garden. It's just literally to connect the two, the head and the body together. So you only want a short piece, that's about maybe 3 inches long. You're also going to need a little twig type branch to make a tail for your reindeer. This is optional, you don't have to put a tail on your reindeer, but I did with mine. So again, a little piece of wood, it's about 2 inches long, that one, from a branch at the bottom of the garden. You're going to need legs for your reindeer, so I've got 4 pieces of dowel in here that I'm actually recycling. This was part of an old laundry basket which has been dismantled, so I'm now going to make those into the legs of my reindeer. But you can use twigs or branches that you find maybe in your garden or out in the woodland. Please don't take them off growing trees, please try and use things that have actually fallen off naturally, but you can just as easily use twigs as you can recycled wood for those. You're going to also need a nose for your reindeer, so of course Rudolph, little red nose. Again, it's just a little slice of wood that I've painted red there, that will do for his nose. I've put a couple of little eyes on the reindeer. I'm not very good at eyes. These are cut from the bendy part on a milk carton. You could also use the little wobbly eyes that you get in the craft store. They're just the same sort of thing, but I didn't have any, so I've kind of improvised for now with those and a Sharpie pen. Ears, you're going to want some ears for your reindeer. I've just used a couple of pieces of bamboo from an old bamboo fence, and again, that's just a bit of recycling there, nothing too heavy. And once you've got all those bits together, you need the all important bit, you need the antlers for your reindeer. So again, like with the body of your reindeer and the head, you're going to need to choose some antlers that are kind of in proportion, but you can have really big ones or really small ones. I just chose a couple from a couple of little branches that were lingering at the bottom of the garden. If you're going out into the countryside to collect wood, can I please ask that you please don't take it from a living tree. Try and take branches that have fallen off naturally. There's plenty of fallen wood at the moment, so you know, it's ideal to go out and have a rummage around and see what you can find and find the best shapes that suit you. The last thing you might need for your reindeer is a piece of ribbon or a piece of tinsel to go around his neck. That's entirely optional, that's entirely up to you. You might want to knit him a scarf if you're really into knitting and that sort of thing, but that's the last little bit that you're going to need. I just thought I would show you the tools that I used to assemble the reindeer. I have a drill which is battery operated, and that did drilled my holes with, some wood drills, a Stanley knife for paring the ends of the twigs, but please be very careful if you're going to be using one of those. Put some protective gloves on, and also put some protective something to protect your eyes for bits of wood flying off. Also used a screwdriver just to tighten up the nose of the reindeer. So if we start with your body of your reindeer, I started off by drilling 4 holes on the underside. For me it was easy because I've got a curved side and a flat side. You might have a circular log, so you need to decide which is your top and which is your bottom. But on the side that you decide is the bottom, I drilled 4 large holes to match the width of my legs. And on the upper side, which for me is the flat side, I drilled a large hole at one end for the neck of the reindeer to slot into, and a small hole at the opposite end for the tail of the reindeer. So those slot in really easy. The neck of the reindeer goes in the front in the big hole, and the small hole at the back. The little tail of the reindeer will stick right in there. So next I worked on the head of the reindeer, and again I chose a top and a bottom, and on the bottom I drilled a large hole for the neck of the reindeer, so that will connect it to the body, and then on the top I drilled 2 smaller holes for the antlers to fit into. And I also, with a saw, scored a couple of lines which I then slotted the ears into. So that's all that we needed to do with the head. So Rudolph's nose, I was quite lucky that this little chunk of wood naturally had a hole in the middle, so I didn't have to do anything other than screw it onto the reindeer. So I, with a screw, actually attached it to the head of the reindeer. This was the nose attached it to the flat end, and the opposite end to the hole that you've drilled for the neck. I then attached the eyes to the reindeer, obviously closest end of your head to the nose, and slotted in the ears into the little grooves that I made at the back of the head. Once you've done all that, then it's time to attach your head to the body of your reindeer, and that's fairly easy. You just literally slot it on. Now, you might actually want to glue the parts together. I haven't done that simply because if he survives the winter, I'd like to be able to take him apart and pop him away for the summer. So I've just made it so that the parts just slot together. So you've now completed the main body of your reindeer, and it's just a case of attaching the legs. I wasn't able to drill holes the same size as my legs, the same thickness as my legs, so this is where I used the Stanley knife to actually pare down the ends. You can probably see there that it's a little bit thinner at the ends, so I've pared down the ends so that they will fit into the holes that I drilled. So it's just a case of popping the legs into the holes. Lastly, you're going to want to add the antlers, which just slot into the little holes that you've drilled on top of the head. And that's it, your reindeer's ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial, and I'd like to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas. I know it's not easy at the moment with lockdown, but maybe this little reindeer might bring a little bit of cheer to your garden. See you soon. Bye now.